So the big picture for this lesson is variability of data. Now here's a sample data set. And there are several different ways you can look at variability. One of them is the range of the data. That's how spread out the data is between the max and the min. So it's from 1 to 34. So basically you just do 34 minus 1 equals 33. So how do you tell if the range is a big number or not compared to the data set? Well, typically you can look at how many data points you have. And in this case, they're probably, I don't know, about the same number of data points as the range is. So that's pretty well spread out. And if you look at the data, I mean, there are some clusters, but these values aren't really stacked on top of each other very high. The highest column here is 3. It's pretty well spread out. So the range is actually pretty big here. Another way to look at variability is called the variance. This involves a little more calculation than the range. So what you do to find the variance, step 1, find the mean of the data. And again, that's the average. Then you subtract each data value from the mean. After you subtract each value, you're going to square the result. So each individual value gets squared after you do the subtraction. Then the final step is find the mean of those numbers. So what you do is you find the mean of the data points, subtract each individual data point from the mean, square the results of each of those calculations, and then find the mean or the average of those, and that's the variance. And you can do this calculation by hand, and you can also use a calculator. And just like with range, the bigger the variance, the more spread out the data is. The most common way to look at variability is standard deviation. And standard deviation is simply the square root of the variance. And just like the range and the variance, the larger the standard deviation is, the more spread out the data is. So the lesson takes you through all 3 of these processes, and you want to use some type of a statistics calculator or graphing calculator. You can find calculators online if you don't have one. Just do a Google search for statistics calculators, and you'll find something online that'll work for you. So that's the big picture for this lesson.